Oh yeah, baby, that's lovely.
We now wander off the beaten path with an update from the Reefer Reporter.
Hello and welcome to the Reefer Reporters. It's June the 9th, 2022, and we are live here on our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook pages from the Legacy420.com news desk. Good morning, Glenn. How you doing today?
Morning, Al. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Considering yesterday was rainy all day and today's sort of looking the same thing. It's still bright and cheery inside. As you can see, it's bright in here, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm in the dungeon here.
Yeah. Well, you got a window near you, don't you?
I do, but it's only a small one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just enough for me to escape in the fire.
Just enough, eh? Well, that's becoming handy.
Yeah.
So how's the bike riding going?
It's really good, really cold this morning when I was out, but I love it. Spending lots of time on it, lots of miles.
Good. Well, I should let everybody know we've done a little bit of updating here on the network. We've updated our StreamYard. We are now streaming in 1080p, better quality video for everybody. Plus, we're in more destinations as well. We're streaming live to 5 destinations, and I got a few more I can plug in there as time goes along. So that'll help, with quality of things and reach more people.
Yeah, it's good.
Right.
Moving forward.
Well, yes, exactly. Well, what do you say? We get into today's news?
Sure.
All righty. First up, we got from StratCan. BC Privacy Commissioner says cannabis in liquor stores need to better protect customer information.
I'd say a report from 2021 included 18 recommendations for cannabis and liquor stores in BC to improve their oversight of information collected from customers and employees. The Office of Information and Privacy Commissioner for BC says they are pleased with efforts by cannabis and liquor retailers in the province to ensure the privacy and security of the personal information they collect.
The newest report published on June the 7th is a follow-up to a similar report from the agency published in 2021. That report showed a number of these retailers have considerable work to do in order to ensure the privacy and security of the personal information they collect is kept in accordance with the law. The report looked at 15 cannabis stores and 15 liquor stores across BC and contained 18 recommendations for retailers to address the gaps identified by the commission.
And it found that while some retailers do have processes in place to protect the personal information of their customers and staff, many were not even aware that they were collecting people's personal information. The initial report also noted that a small number of the surveyed retailers collect biometric information from staff, customers, or both. In one case, a retailer even informed inspectors that they use facial recognition as part of their surveillance system, something the commission report highlights is not allowed. So they don't even know what's allowed and what's not allowed.
Yeah, like facial recognition stuff, and it's not even allowed to use it, and they're using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other types of data collection included asking for customer ID as well as information collected for online sales, which at times could include information such as IP address as well as home address and credit card numbers. Many of the retailers also did not have a privacy officer or privacy policies for the personal information they collect or any training for staff or managers relating to the management of this private information. Like, why does a store need to know your private information? Like, I can see if you're doing the information is collected when it's an online thing, right?
Yeah, your credit card, they're going to need that, right?
Yeah, credit card and things. If someone goes in and buys cash, but like do they need the credit card information when you purchase it, but why do they need to store that credit card information?
Yeah, they shouldn't be storing it. I don't think anybody should be able to store your information without your consent. The ID, I think maybe is to make sure you're the right age, of course. But they shouldn't be storing any of it.
Yeah, they're just checking for the ID. There's no reason for them to keep
that. They shouldn't have that information on file. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they're delivering to your house. That's the only reason to have
that. Exactly.
So many of the retailers also did not. Oh, sorry, you read that. The follow-up report published this year, which covered 29 of the 30 original stores, notes significant improvements and efforts to address these and other concerns. OPIC's report notes that 70% of the recommendations have been fully implemented and 22% have been partially implemented, meaning retailers had made some progress to incorporate the recommendations into their own privacy management program. At least they're doing something.
Yeah, the Information and Privacy Commission of BC will continue to follow up, they say, with the retailers to ensure there's further compliance. There was also some differences noted between liquor and cannabis retailers when it comes to the implementation of some recommendations.
Auditors found the liquor retailers appeared more likely to have designated privacy officer, written privacy policies, and expectations for privacy protection included in contracts. Cannabis stores are encouraged to follow these examples as well, especially since a breach of the cannabis retail organization can have negative implications due to the ongoing stigma of cannabis use.
Yeah, I would think that if it's not required in the regulations, then I can see why the stores, the retail stores in the cannabis end may not have it because it's all new. Whereas, their liquor stores, they've been around a while, right?
Yeah, they've been around and they're really, really well financed, for decades.
Yeah, by taxpayers.
Yep, of course.
Yeah.
Because
All right.
liquor's good, liquor's good for you, right?
Exactly. Now, on to our next story here. This is a follow-up from one from even before you started here, Glenn. And this happens to deal with the cafe in Toronto. And the cafe landlord is cleared of all cannabis charges as the latest attempt to crack down on an illegal pot shop fails, according to CBC. And the cafe is short form for, unfortunately, I can't think of what it is offhand, but maybe we'll find out.
Okay. Motion, I'm not going to try his last name, acquitted on 6 counts of allowing his property to be used for unlawful sales of cannabis. Authorities in Toronto recently lost the latest round in their long-running battle to shutter a notorious chain of illegal cannabis shops, as a justice of the peace Wednesday afternoon acquitted the landlord of the cafe's flagship store on all 6 provincial cannabis charges he was facing.
Motion G, I can't, I'm not even gonna, sorry, but was on trial under Ontario's Cannabis Control Act, which makes it illegal for a landlord to knowingly permit a premises to be used to sell illegal weed. Prosecutors alleged during the trial that he didn't act forcefully or quickly enough to evict Cafe from ground floor condo unit he owns at 66 Fort York Boulevard once he learned that they were operating in violation of the provincial law.
But in her ruling Wednesday, Justice of the Peace Rhonda Roffey said that while much of his testimony did not ring true or seemed deliberately vague, the evidence was still that the mortgage broker and property investor took the only reasonable steps that were available to him under the circumstances, given the cafe's determination to flout the law. Cafe have proven that they would go to any lengths to keep their business open, Roffey said in her decision. Each and every time the police laid charges and emptied the premises of employees and products, Cafe was able to reopen and continue to operate.
They did. Now, according to his lawyer, Noel Jerry, he said his client is extremely happy with the results. I guess so. The lawyer goes on to say he feels that his hands were tied throughout and that he is vindicated. He added that it seems unfair that the landlords and not the operators or owners of the illegal stores are bearing the brunt of law enforcement's attempt to shut down the cafe.
It seems to me like they're trying to blame one person for something else someone else did here. The cafe has a problem with the law, then they should deal with the cafe, not with the landlord. I don't think he has anything to do with
They were basically, because they couldn't shut down they were having problems shutting down the cafes in like the actual, not the cafes, but just, the dispensaries and stuff in Toronto for quite a while. They went after the landlords to try to force them to get rid of them.
But even it sounds like the landlord was going by what the law was saying to do, and they still didn't do anything. So I don't know. I can blame them twice.
Well, now they know. Okay, continue.
Yeah. I can't say his name, argued at trial that he had two options to deal with his law-defying tenants because police had placed a closure order on his property the day after cannabis became legal in Canada. Closure orders under the Cannabis Control Act forbid any person from entering or attempting to enter closed premises except emergency responders in exigent circumstances. They put a closure order on the property and then expected landlords to take reasonable measures when they were really pulling the rug out from under his feet, Jerry told CBC News. And that sounds like what they did.
Yeah. The city of Toronto, whose lawyers prosecuted the case, gave a short statement Wednesday, even saying the city is reviewing the decision on this matter and is not able to provide additional information at this time. The 6 counts against them under the landlord under the Section 13 of the Cannabis Act dated back to 2018, 2019, and early 2020. His trial on the first 3 of those charges was supposed to begin back in 2020, but the pandemic forced a postponement.
And 3 other landlords for cafes location on Harbor Street, Bloor Street, and St. Clair Avenue are facing similar provincial charges. One of them, Ali Gilani, is in mid-trial, and the other 2, both numbered companies, are scheduled on trial in the fall. Jerry said the ruling in his case isn't binding on the other trials, but if the facts are similar, then the same arguments he raised should hold water in any future case. And it sounds to me like these other ones are going to be thrown out too.
Yeah, you see that picture? I've got it on the screen there now. You see that picture with the forklift there, and there's a guy in those cement blocks. They used those to try to shut the store down, and they brought the product out front and kept selling it.
Wow! And at that time, that was probably the same kind of thing going on here. They were trying to close everybody down.
Yeah. The provincial charges against all 4 landlords are the latest steps in the long-running, costly, and so far failed attempt by law enforcement to shut down CAFE, which stands for Cannabis and Fine Edibles. So there you go, Glenn. That's what it stands for. Cannabis and Fine Edibles.
Okay. Raiding the renegade cannabis chains outlets, seizing their supplies of bud, changing the locks, welding the door shut, and finally piling huge concrete slabs in front of the entrances to bar access. None of it has worked. Each time the same stores have reopened, sometimes within hours, which I think is great. I know at that time there was nowhere to go. There was nowhere else to go, and they were supplying a good service to a lot of people.
Right. And look what they tried to do to stop them, and they still couldn't stop the store from operating.
No, because if people want it, they will get it.
That's right, exactly. Last year, the City of Toronto held a licensing and standards. Carlton Grant told CBC that we've gotten to a point where we need to rely on the court process to deal with this. Now that the strategy has failed its first big test, it's unclear what, if any, further steps the city might take against CAFE. While authorities have laid charges against the stores, employees, and landlords, a city enforcement officer testifying at the trial said he understood that his colleagues are still in the dark about who actually owns and runs the cafe.
Wow.
CBC News. The landlord being charged. This isn't the owner of the business.
Yeah, the landlord should know.
Who is it?
A CBC News investigation starting in 2019 found that 2 men, originally from southwestern Ontario, John Galvano, who died in Mexico last year, and his lifelong friend Wesley Weber, who has a long criminal record, most of those notably for counterfeiting, were among the cafe's early funders and owners. Testifying in his own defense last month, G revealed that for the first time that it was Galvano who signed the lease and was the original tenant at cafe's initial location at 66 Fort York Boulevard, which opened in 2016.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's some places, pictures there. There you go. So there you go. Guy is not guilty. The landlord is not guilty. And, we'll see what happens in these next 2 trials. I wonder if they'll be as, I always think they'll make the news being it's all the same company, Cannabis and Fine Edibles.
Yeah.
And I would think that it will still make the news. So we see it. We'll bring it forward. And who knows? Maybe all 3 of them. If they're using the same argument, all 3 of them may win it.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Minor precedent set there.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. All right, on to our next story. This one comes from MJ Biz Daily. Headline says cannabis retailers increasingly discounting their products.
As recreational cannabis markets mature, retailers are turning more and more to discounts to manage aging inventories and an expanding variety of products. U.S. and Canadian cannabis retailers are discounting their products more and more, foregoing billions of dollars in revenue since the launch of adult use markets in recent years. It's easy to blame recent events such as COVID-19 pandemic for the price shaving.
But the increase in discounting, according to Krista Raymer, the founder of the Toronto-based retail cannabis consulting firm Vetra Group, likely reflects the rapidly growing number of adult use products and brands available to the retailers. This has left retailers with a growing number of product options and rising stocks of unsold goods at a time when recreational sales, in particular, have slowed in a number of markets.
In response, retailers are relying on a variety of promotions, discounts, and markdowns to boost sales and shrinking, bulging inventories. This at a time when overall consumer inflation is surging, having jumped 8.3% annually in April. Raymar believes that cannabis discounting will continue until the industry has more experience and data to make better informed decisions about managing products, prices, and inventories.
The combined discount on mainly recreational cannabis sales in 9 U.S. states more than doubled over the past 5 years, from 7% in June of 2017 to 15% in April of this year, according to the retail data collected by Seattle-based firm Headset. Those states include Arizona, California, Colorado, Illinois, Massachusetts, Michigan, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington.
And discount percentages vary by product, but all categories have experienced increases since recreational sales started in the various states and Canada. Cannabis flower, the most popular and top-selling category, had double-digit discounts for April in U.S. states. Total flower discounts in Washington state reached 20% for the first time in November 2021 and topped 23% in April of this year.
Wow. Nevada was at 20%. Among the states tracked, only Massachusetts has comparably low discounts rates. Combined retail discounts in the state were 2.7% in April of 22, which is double what it was in 2018. And Canadian consumers might not be enjoying the same discount percentage as U.S. buyers are, but discounts are increasing.
Yeah, I think the discounts are coming, but they're calling it discounts. I think they were just charging too much at the beginning. Because I know when Cannabis NB opened, the prices were absolutely astounding. When you walked in there, and I literally walked out. I didn't buy anything because there was nothing there. A week before, when the dispensaries were open, I could get stuff for half the price Cannabis NB was selling it, and it was better cannabis. So I think these discounts are kind of weird to say discounts. I think they're just price adjustments to what it should be.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from. Exactly.
Yeah. So Alberta was next at 3.8%, followed by British Columbia at 2.6% and Saskatchewan at 2.4%. That amounts to almost 5 million Canadian dollars in discounts every month. The differences in discounts in Canada and the U.S. have come from how the supply chains are set up.
Yeah, Canadian cannabis retailers absorb most of the discounting costs because in most provinces, wholesale prices are set by the government-run provincial wholesalers. Retail purchase the product at a fixed price from the wholesaler, but they can sell it at the price they want.
Yeah, U.S. retailers have more options when it comes to discounting because they can rely on partners to absorb some of the price difference. Cannabis brands can set up programs such as those in mainstream consumer packaged good industries, where the product producers or distributors absorb the cost of the discount to help expose customers to the merchandise. Yeah, that's a big failure in the way our system is set up.
Yeah, exactly.
At the same time, cannabis discounting coincides with the rapid expansion of product available to retailers in Canada and the U.S.
For example, the number of cannabis products available in the U.S. retailers in California Colorado, Michigan, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington State surged 80% from 2018 to 2022, with almost 5,000 brands producing 189,000 products in those states at the end of the first quarter of this year. I can't understand, it's still federally illegal. California experienced a quadrupling in the number of cannabis products available to consumers since 2018, with 39,000 products being sold by retailers in the first quarter of 2022. Yeah, like here it is federally illegal. And they got all these huge numbers.
Yeah, there's a lot about the states I can't understand either. So
Yeah.
product growth is also happening in Canada. The country had 10,400 products for sale, 1,400 brands during the first quarter of 2022. Not bad for a market that started in 2019 with about 500 products offered by 64 brands. Big difference.
A lot of brands compared to I don't. Who knows how many we could think off the top of our heads, like 3.
Yeah.
Now, according to Raymer, she says there's a dark side to discounting. She says that discounting is used as a lever to increase the sales velocity of an SKU or SKU. The difficulty, though, is you have an increase to the velocity enough to offset the costs associated with running the discount. And if you don't do that on a consistent basis, Raymer says discounting can be very detrimental to your business and even the industry.
And we both have really have to be really specific with discounting. She recommends retailers understand the intended and unintended consequences of discounting and create a pricing, promotion, and discounting strategy. There's been some big shifts in discounting. For example, discounting an entire category. Instead, we need to be more targeted with what SKUs we're discounting, when and how much product is available in the store at discount at any given time. And that's the same with any retailer.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Business, stores, all that type of stuff. Yeah. Discounts. Yeah, just price adjusting is what that is.
It is. And I was saying before, the prices were ridiculous when it first became legal here. They have gone down a lot, but and the quality's gone up for what you get. So I'm happy with that. I think it's going to have a leveling effect eventually.
Eventually, yeah. I haven't got a clue. I haven't consumed any, so I don't know. But I can see at the beginning where a lot of it was sort of stored and packaged for like a year before it got out there. So, and hopefully fresher stuff and the micro stuff is getting out there, which is new as well.
Yeah.
So. All right. Next story. This one comes to us from the Fresh Toast. How many edibles should you eat? Your guide to edible dosing.
Edibles are notorious for taking a long time to take effect, resulting in many people making the mistake of taking too many, which often leads to a bad trip. Edibles are one of the most popular ways of consuming cannabis. They come in many tasty varieties, from sweet to salty, even vegan and gluten-free versions. What's not to love?
Yeah. But for newbies, dosing THC cannabis edibles can be tricky. Dosage spells the difference between a blissful experience and one that may come close to a nightmare filled with paranoia, heart racing, and anxiety. While cannabis isn't dangerous, the effects of taking too many edibles can last for hours and may traumatize some long enough to stay off it completely. We want to avoid that. So let's take a look at how you should be dosing edibles the right way. And I know of people that have consumed it and went, no, never again. I ate too much and no thank you.
Yeah, I've tested a few when the batches were new and ate a little bit too much and experienced that, but I've never really had a bad time because I didn't go too far over,
Yeah, but there are people who do.
Yes. Whether you smoke cannabis in the past or not, edibles are a whole different ballgame. Yes, they are. They are notorious for taking much longer to take effect, resulting in many people making the mistake of topping up their edibles and everything hits all at once. But unlike smoking or vaporizing, when you buy edibles at a dispensary, they already come pre-dosed, which means it already tells you how much THC is contained in each gummy or a square of chocolate. This makes it much simpler to understand.
No matter how many edibles you take, wait at least 45 to 90 minutes to an hour before you decide to top up. Edibles have to pass through the digestive system in order for the cannabinoids to reach the bloodstream, whereas smoking and vaporizing goes directly into the lungs. the biological process for this to take place doesn't require time, and it's affected by other factors, which we'll discuss later on this day. And yeah, we'd always tell people start small and wait an hour before you have any more.
Sensible. 1 to 2.5 milligram THC. This dose is considered a microdose, which even seasoned consumers take regularly if they want to stay focused and productive. You can expect mild pain and stress relief while getting a jolt of creativity and focus. This is also wonderful for social situations and people who suffer from social anxiety disorder. Well, it will help take the edge off.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Now, between 2.5 and 15 milligrams of THC, those struggling with persistent insomnia, stress, pain, and other ailments, this dose is recommended. You can expect stronger symptom relief as well as blissful feelings, though this is strong enough to cause impairment. So be sure that you don't have to operate machinery or any kinds of anything else with this amount. Now, some people say, well, 15 milligrams isn't a lot, but I do know somebody who consumed a 10 milligram drink, and they did feel it.
Okay. Was that person who doesn't smoke? Was it a person who doesn't use regularly?
Correct. Exactly. Not a regular consumer. And I thought it was good that they were willing to try it, and it allowed me an opportunity to see if somebody could get a buzz off of one 10 milligram drink.
Okay. 15 to 30 milligram THC. Only seasoned cannabis users and edible consumers are recommended to start dosing at this amount, as well as medical patients who have already developed tolerances. This is also ideal for patients who struggle with extreme treatment-resistant insomnia, because it will deliver an intense head and body high that is sure to lull you to sleep. Driving is not recommended at all.
Now, 30 to 50 milligrams. Individuals who struggle with gastrointestinal disorders, they may affect how they metabolize cannabinoids, and individuals who have a high tolerance to THC are ideal consumers for this high type of dosage. You can expect extreme strong euphoria, which may leave you feeling extremely relaxed, and in many cases, couch locked.
Okay, how much do you use on when you dose? How much do you usually use?
Me? When I make my own edibles, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not worrying about dosing. I don't even calculate it out. I just
okay.
I'm like that old time baker. Yep, that looks good.
Yeah. but you buy drinks and stuff too.
Well,
right?
I buy the drinks, and that's under that Legacy 420. I'm getting 30 milligrams of THC.
And do you get a high off that, or is it
not off of one? No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Now, I recently had a 400 milligram piece of chocolate that I got from a company, and Up and Smoke Niagara, and holy smokes, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I went and had a nap for a while. It was.
I remember you saying something about that.
Yeah. So, not yet from just a regular beverage. I can just tell you that. So.
Yeah. Okay. Unless you have years of experience with cannabis, it's not recommended to consume over 40 milligrams of edibles in one go. Even then, its effects will be powerful and can last up to 12 hours or more. The absorption time and intensity of effects also vary based on many factors. One of these is the type of edible. A study has shown that candies and gummies result in a quicker onset within 15 to 45 minutes, while other kinds of edibles in the market can take as long as 180 minutes in some cases. Individuals who already have a fast metabolism can feel the impacts of THC much sooner than others, since they can digest the edibles quicker. If you eat an edible on an empty stomach, this will also ensure that the onset is quicker.
In addition, keep in mind that in many cases, depending on the type of edible, THC may not be the only cannabinoid present. Many edible brands combine with other minor cannabinoids such as CBN and CBD, which is beneficial to patients. This means that if you're consuming to treat or heal a certain ailment, the presence of other cannabinoids strengthens how each work in the human body.
Yeah. You'll also want to prepare for potential effects. Usually, extreme drowsiness, sleepiness, and hunger can take place. This is why preparing is key. The best way to do so while experimenting with THC edibles is to ensure you are home in a safe place and don't have to do anything important or drive for the next 12 hours. Even better, if you have a better couch where you can just soak it all in and relax. That's what it's about, relaxing, you know.
Relaxing, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Take away the stress.
Yeah, yeah. And less stress, maybe some less medical conditions out there looking for treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So all right. Well, on to our next story, our last story before we go for a break. And the headline says, according to Mugglehead magazine, people consume cannabis to address health and wellness concerns, according to a Curaleaf survey.
And most adults that have consumed cannabis have done it with ease, health, and wellness purposes. To ease health, according to a new survey by the Harris Poll on behalf of Curaleaf Holdings Incorporated. On Wednesday, the leading cannabis producer published the results of a 2,000 people survey looking into the reasons that lead people to consume cannabis.
It found that 91% of the adults who have consumed it did it because of health or wellness reasons, while 62% they rather use cannabis than pharmaceuticals when treating a medical use. The survey analysts found that 75% of the Americans say they rather use holistic solutions over pharmaceuticals to treat a medical issue.
Around 52% use it for sleep, 49% as a sleeping aid, which is the same thing, I think, 44% to reduce stress, and 41% to reduce anxiety. The survey also found that 88% of those who have consumed cannabis for health purposes feel it has improved their overall well-being, and 86% of those who did it would recommend it to a friend or a family member.
Curaleaf says that as cannabis legalization continues to sweep the U.S., beliefs and behaviors surrounding consumption are shifting to become more mainstream and inclusive by patients and consumers who rely on it for a variety of health and wellness needs, from helping to relieve menstrual cramps and arthritis to supporting stress and sleep issues.
Clinical cannabis pharmacist for Curaleaf New York, Stacia Woodcock, said education on how cannabis supports everyday health and wellness is critical to the destigmatizing the plant and providing consumers with more choices to best fit their personal lifestyles. There's a wide variety of ways to consume cannabis safely, and many formulations actually have minimal intoxicating effects. Different product options such as various ratios of THC and CBD give patients the opportunity to consume cannabis in a way that works with their lifestyle and comfort level, said Woodcock.
There you go. So that's all good. Good news.
Yeah.
Look at all those numbers. Why, and high numbers, on why people go into the stores. And as our survey here in Canada found out, 53% of the people who go into a store do so for medical purposes.
I think that most people, whether you're using it for a technically medical purpose or just for a relaxation purpose, it's the same thing sometimes.
It is. It is.
If you take the stress out of people's lives and let them relax a little bit, you're going to live longer, feel better, and be healthier, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Well, break time. Time to medicate. Glenn and I'll be right back. You're listening or maybe watching the Reefer Reporters. We're live here on the Pace Radio Network.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Pace Radio Network, by patients, for patients, and for those who want to know.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go.
Hi folks, Scott from stpattiesday.com here, and we're absolutely stoked to tell you about our brand new program called Pass the Peace Pipe and our partnership with Legacy 420 out of Tyne-Nanaga. We are absolutely proud to be partners with these people. They are an amazing group that have helped so many people with their amazing cannabis medicinal products. And we are working together to gather funds to build the first ever Indigenous specific opioid addiction center here in the Bay of Quinte area on Tyne-Nanagan land. So we need your help. We need you to repost this video and go to our GoFundMe campaign, because on this October 17th, St. Fatty's Day, we are going to be starting the campaign where we pass the peace pipe from one side of the country to another to unite our country, to gather awareness, but most importantly funds to build opioid addiction centers across the nation, one build at a time.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hey, we're back from our break, and we are the Reefer Reporters, and we're live here on our YouTube channel as well as multiple Facebook pages as well. You can find us there. Just look us up. Well, Glenn, during the before we went live today, you and I were having a discussion about mushrooms and psilocybin and stuff. I don't know if you noticed in one of our commercials how one of our sponsors has got spores.
BMA.
Yeah,
I noticed BMA has a kit that's advertised.
They have a kit as well. Yes, exactly. They apparently they're legal. It's what you grow them that's when they become illegal.
I really miss that store. I used to like to go to BMA. Yeah, good people there.
Yeah, exactly. You always go in, have a good conversation, and if they haven't got it there, they can usually get it for you.
Yeah.
And I know the stuff that I'm looking for. 99.9% of the time is there. It's in stock, so it's always good to have. So
everything that I ever ordered there before came fast anyway.
Yes.
So even if we didn't have it, they got it really fast.
Exactly. All right, on to our first story here after the break. Recently you and I had a story that we covered. It was asking about what's HCO or HCC or HOO, something to do with cannabis. This next one, same idea from the Fresh Toast. What is THCO? And what is the psychedelic cannabinoid? And why is the psychedelic cannabinoid 3 times stronger than THC?
We don't know. We're going to find out right now, though. For curious tokers, trying a new substance that is 300% more potent than THC is a welcoming experience. However, we urge you to explore this new psychedelic horizon with caution. Even for laymen with decent working knowledge of cannabis, THCO, otherwise known as THC actate or THCO actate, is a fairly unknown, non-natural cannabinoid. Unlike the more visible CBD or THC, you won't see articles about it in health magazines or have advertisements for it pop up on social media.
I've heard of the actate end of things. It sounds familiar. For years, it's been under the radar. Now that there is a growing discussion around THCO, this is for two reasons: its potency and its accessibility. THCO has been found to be around 3 times stronger than THC, and because the law has not yet caught up with its existence, it can be accessed by anyone who lives in a state where conventional THC is illegal.
Wow. THCO is artificially synthesized from the precursor to traditional THC called tetrahydrocannabinol acid, or THCA. The process used to create THCO preserves the basic structure of the THCA, but adds an actate group. Wow.
The THCO is what is known as a prodrug, which simply means that it doesn't become active in the body until after the liver metabolizes it. Activated THC is far stronger than its naturally derived counterparts because it can cross lipid-sensitive barriers in the brain and digestive tract more easily. After metabolizing, so what's left in the body is a more bioavailable delta THC compound.
Processed as an odorless and tasteless compound, THCO is not water soluble. It has begun to show up in the market in the form of vapes, edibles like gummies, tinctures, and other products. THCO products are similar to THC products, just with greater potency.
THCO hasn't really been in the public eye until recent years, but it has been studied as far back as 1949 by the United States military. In the 1970s, DEA agents raided a lab in Florida that was synthesizing THCO. Yet, because there was apparently no real marketplace for it, the FDA didn't investigate the compound any further, and the war on drugs seemingly passed this one by.
In 2018, the United States Congress passed a bill that allowed for the growth and production of hemp. Because THCO can be synthesized from hemp, an underground marketplace began to grow. Because the laws regarding the compound are vague and not clearly stated, THCO began to grow in popularity, especially in states where traditional cannabis remains illegal.
Now, like traditional THCO is synthesized from hemp. It is synthetically altered to change its chemical structure. The process begins with THCA, and then the traditional THC delta 9 and delta 8 are decarboxylated through the application of heat. However, THCO is made by taking the raw THCA and processing it with sulfuric acid and acetic hydrate before it is heated, which dramatically alters its molecular structure.
Wow, I don't know about
this isn't something that you and I are just going to do with a quick wash with water or butter, I'll tell you.
Yeah, sulfuric acid, I don't know. That sounds kind of dangerous to me.
Well, just read the next line, you'll see.
This is an extremely volatile chemical process, and under no circumstances should anyone try to create THCO at a home lab. Not only is home processing extremely dangerous, but it will likely be ineffective. THCO requires a very specific processing parameters, and a layperson would not be able to create a potent product.
Oh, that's good to know. But there will be people who will try.
Yes,
THCO is an extremely psychoactive form of THC. It offers a high that is around 3 times more powerful than the traditional cannabis. THCO actate effects are marginally hallucinogenic, which has earned it the nickname the psychedelic cannabinoid. Because of this, it's good to note that it's best to be cautious in consumption. It's safer for those who are already accustomed to the effects of cannabis. The effects at higher doses have been compared to that of mescaline, LSD, or magic mushrooms. Users can feel extremely heavy and unable to move. Lower doses are comparable to the typical delta 9 THC.
Wow. Because of the breakdown of THCO in the body, the high doesn't kick in for about 20 to 30 minutes after consumption. It must be metabolized in the liver first. Then,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Sorry?
See the side effects, eh?
Yeah, the side there. It's I don't know,
Extremely
nausea and
lethargic.
vomiting and dizziness and seizures. I don't know if I like that kind of stuff.
Well, they say you get dizzy off of cannabis, right? That's the euphoric, and the seizures and the vomiting, incapacitation. That's couch locked or whatever.
Yeah, and incoherence though. But I've been using cannabis for most of my life, and I don't remember any time that I was incoherent.
Yeah.
You know, I've been stoned. Everybody has, but I was never incoherent ever.
Yeah, they say there's those for those trying to cheat the drug test. THCO is not going to help, as it leaves the body as a more potent form of delta 9 after being metabolized by the liver. This excretion will be picked up on a THC drug test.
There is not enough research available on THCO to determine whether it's safe for human consumption, because it has just recently started to emerge from the underground. There is certainly some amount of risk in using it. While there has never been a recorded death from an overdose while using THCO, there are a few things to keep in mind about consumption. Vaping using vitamin E actate were found to cause a virulent form of lung disease in some users called lipioid pneumonia. While there is not enough research to prove a similar effect with THC actate, some experts theorize that there could be a similar effect if taken through vape carts. Wow.
Oh, another possible issue is running with altered products because it's an unregulated item. Finally, because this pro drug is so incredibly potent, it is important to go slow. Start at a very small minimal dose and potentially increase it only as your body becomes accustomed to the effects. And that's the same advice that we give to new people when it comes to using cannabis.
Anybody trying edibles has to start like that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, do you want to keep going? You got enough of this?
Got enough of this one.
All right. So check it out. There's that's on the Fresh Toast, where you can get more information on that stuff. It's and as I say, don't make it at home.
We don't want anybody blowing up.
No, that's right.
Or melting their floor with acid.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, proper safety gear as well. So, all right, on to our next story. This is coming to us from StratCan, and it headline says, "Of mycin and mango, questioning the entourage effect." I like
mango mycin boosts your high. Everyone knows it, right? It's scientifically proven. Ever heard of the entourage effect, bucko? Don't know who was first to alliterate mycin and mangoes, but I'd like them brought to justice. The purported effects of mango and mycin in popular cannabis culture have become so myriad and widespread that one might consider the fruit and molecule to be bioequivalent.
Yeah, I've heard that for years. Mango gets you higher when you use it, or
I've never heard of that.
Stronger when you consume it with mango. Oh yeah. I just like mango. So
I love mangoes too.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to get you higher. That's what the story's been. If you spent more than 3.5 minutes on terpene TikTok, you'll no doubt recognize some of these popular claimed effects attributed to mango and mycin and terpenes generally, and sometimes vitamin C, including but not limited to intensifying the effects of THC. That's the one I had heard.
Yeah. Reducing THC. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Reducing THC tolerant without reducing consumption, increasing blood-brain barrier permeability, synergizing with cannabinoids, causing sedation and analgesia, the indica effect. And in the wake of mango mythology, an entourage gospel grows an entire category of terpene-focused edible and supplement companies, stirring a cyclone of confirmation bias in a vacuum of evidence.
Are mangoes
truly? Where's this guy?
Yeah. Are mangoes truly rich in myrcene? As every single weed education and marketing blog ever to exist suggests, not so much. Volatile compounds in mango are present in concentrations ranging from 18 to 123 milligrams of fresh fruit, depending on the cultivar, of which there are thousands.
And
Yep,
monoterpenes, is that what that is? Monoterpenes are the most abundant volatile compounds in mango, present alongside acids, alcohols, aldehydes, ketones, lactones, and esters. But despite popular claims, myrcene does not seem to register dominantly in mangoes. Available data indicates that 3-serine, limonene, terpolene, and pinene are among the dominant terpenes in most cultivars.
Yeah. In one analysis of 25 mango cultivators, myrcene was detected in 3 and was dominant in only 1, in which it accounted for 58% of the total volatiles. In the other 2, myrcene comprised just 0.5% and 1%. Analysis of the sap of 7 Indian varieties did include myrcene alongside ocimene and limonene, while in 9 cultivars grown in Pakistan, myrcene is not listed as being present.
An analysis of bone.
Get it, I guess.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I guess there's not in certain varieties. There's not a lot of this.
Well, yeah, not all mangoes are grown or are the same.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you experienced the difference when you're eating mangoes? Have you ever noticed that?
It's just a mango, man.
I just eat mangoes. I never noticed.
Yeah, I don't know any difference other than it's mango and it's going on my breakfast.
Yeah. An analysis of
or my smoothie.
Oh, you have mango smoothies?
Yeah. Add them to my fruit smoothies. That's right.
I just eat dried mangoes every day.
Every
single day. They're sweet and they're really, really, really good.
Really? Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yeah. An analysis of Owen mangoes, which account for about 80% of Australia's annual mango market, found that myrcene comprised 1.6% of total volatiles. A similar analysis of Tommy Atkins mangoes, which are the most extensively planted mango in the Americas, did not list myrcene as a detected volatile. So there's none of the American ones.
No. Taken together, this suggests a fresh mango could contain anywhere from 5 to 10 milligrams total terpenes, in which myrcene is likely to account for fractions of a milligram. Now, by contrast, herbal cannabis is more fragrant and contains more terpenes than fresh mangoes. I think it would be more fragrant, with myrcene being among the most dominant. Total terpene content in premium herbal cannabis can compromise of up to 40 milligrams per gram. Chief among them is beta carotene. Oh, here comes another one. Terpene, pinene, myrcene, and others.
It sounds to me like they've disproven this. Basically, it's very, very small amount in even if in
any other fruit. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, we'll shut this one down. Yeah. So there's not, you're not gonna get extra stoned by eating mangoes. Okay.
No.
Unless just enjoy the fruit, and it's
unless they can some guy grow mangoes with more of this in it.
Yeah, exactly. If they can get better, stronger myrcene in the mangoes, I don't know.
I'm sure someone's trying to do it already.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same thing. Someone's fooling with it, trying to get it up there. I'm sure. All right, on to our next story. This comes from the Fresh Toast. Headline says, "New cancer treatment leaves every patient in remission." Every patient?
Everyone. A new study on cancer did something that has never been done before. It left every participant cancer-free. The study, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, was conducted by researchers from Yale and Memorial Sloan Kettering, who examined patients in advanced stages of rectal cancer. It was a small study comprised of 18 participants and concluded with all of them in remission. That's amazing.
That's amazing. All the patients had a specific type of cancer caused by deficiency in mismatched repair, which is, according to the National Cancer Institute, cells that have mutations in genes involved in correcting mistakes when DNA is copied in a cell.
Researchers devised a special treatment for this affliction, creating a lab-made antibody called dostarlimab, an immunotherapy drug used in the treatment of endometrial cancer. However, according to Science Alert, this was the first clinical investigation of whether it was also effective against rectal cancer tumors, and it is, obviously.
Yeah. Patients receive a dose of the drug every 3 weeks for 6 months. And according to Memorial Sloan Kettering, in every case, the rectal cancer disappeared after immunotherapy without the need for the standard treatments of radiation, surgery, or chemotherapy. And the cancer has not returned in any of the patients who have been cancer-free for up to 2 years.
That's incredible. I've been hearing more and more news on the cancer front lately, and it's all super positive.
Yep. Stacey, I believe this is the first time this has happened in the history of cancer, according to lead author Dr. Louis Diaz Jr., told the New York Times.
While the study was small and it's in its early stages, the results are unprecedented. While the study has narrowed down to a specific type of cancer, it could extend to other types. More research could result in new treatments that could help people recover from cancer while experiencing treatments that are less invasive and affecting. And they actually work. Imagine that.
Yeah. 18 people. It's not a huge study. But boy, when do you even a small study? When do you ever hear 100%?
I've never heard that before, and it's super, super promising. And like I said, I've heard of a few different cancer treatments in the last couple of weeks or couple of months that all seem very, very promising.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll get on to the next story here. This one comes from CNN. Headline says, Thailand just decriminalized cannabis, but you still can't smoke joints, according to the minister.
Thailand on Tuesday became the first country in Asia to decriminalize cannabis, but tough penalties will still apply to those who use the drug to get high, according to the minister who spearheaded the change. Speaking to CNN in an interview ahead of the move, the health minister, Ayotin Charvokal, said he expected legal cannabis production to boost the economy, but cautioned that recreational use of the drug remains illegal.
It's no, said Otten, who is also a deputy prime minister. We still have regulations under the law that control the consumption, smoking, or use of cannabis products in non-productive ways. Under decriminalization, it is no longer a crime to grow and trade cannabis and hemp products, or use parts of the plants to treat illnesses. Cafes and restaurants can also serve cannabis-infused food and drinks, but only if the products contain less than 0.2% THC.
Wow. That's nothing.
So, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Harsh penalties remain in place under the Public Health Act, including up to 3 months in jail and an $800 fine for smoking cannabis in public.
3 months in jail for smoking.
Yeah, for smoking a joint. Not only that, you get 3 months and they take $800, which is probably like a year's wage there.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
We have always emphasized using cannabis extractions and raw materials for medical purposes and for health. There has never once been a moment that we would think about advocating people to use cannabis in terms of recreation or use it in a way that it could irritate others. I don't know how it irritates others, other than maybe they don't like the smell or smoke.
Smoke, that's right. In particular, the minister had a stern warning for foreign tourists thinking of lighting up a joint in public. Thailand will promote cannabis policies for medical purposes. If tourists come for medical treatment or come for health-related products, then it's not an issue. But if you think that you want to come to Thailand just because you heard that cannabis or marijuana is legal, or come to Thailand to smoke joints freely, that's wrong. Don't come. We won't welcome you if you just come to this country for that purpose. There you go.
Well, I guess they're not going to execute you anymore, but
no.
It's kind of draconian purpose.
Yeah.
And a former tycoon, of course he is, also said he hopes that the Thai cannabis industry will generate billions of dollars in income by boosting agriculture. I don't know how they're expecting to generate billions of dollars when it's still basically illegal.
Well, there was another story. I had to decide between this story or another story, okay, of Thailand.
Yep.
And the other story says that so far 100,000 people have registered with the government in order to grow cannabis.
But who are they going to sell it to?
Well, they'll sell it internationally.
I guess so. So it's good for everybody else, but not their own people. That's what they're basically
well,
saying.
They can grow it, and they can. Well, as the story says, they can. Restaurants, so on and so forth. They have cannabis in it.
Yeah,
but really, it's
0.2%,
it's hemp.
That's hemp.
It's hemp. It's hemp.
Yeah, it's not good.
With the Delta 8 stories and the THCOs, hemp is legal in the U.S. federally, right? So I can see why there's an emphasis going that way. And this product is, you're getting you're not getting much THC, but you're getting the rest of the cannabis. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's a little backward.
Yeah, I agree. And then they say here, we expect the value of the cannabis industry to easily exceed $2 billion, highlighting the recent initiatives such as collaborating with the agricultural minister to distribute 1 million free cannabis plants to households across the country. They just did that. They gave out 1 million plants.
Wow. They're saying cannabis plants, but I think they're talking hemp, right? Because who grows cannabis at 0.2%? It's unheard of.
It's hemp.
Yeah, they're just saying cannabis for some reason.
I know. That's what they call it. It was cannabis sativa L.
Okay.
Probably is what it is.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay. I think the Thai people are excited and eager to be players, either as investors or product makers, as well as consumers. With today's technology and marketing strategies, Thailand will be second to none in being able to promote cannabis products in the global market.
Thursday is a historic day for the relaxation of cannabis laws and follows the country's landmark decision in 2018 to allow the use of medical cannabis. Since then, under Otten's direction, the laws around cannabis have been further loosened with the removal of cannabis buds and flowers from the country's list of banned narcotics.
And more than 3,000 inmates serving prison terms for cannabis and hemp-related drug offenses will be released following an announcement from Otten Public Health Ministry. That's a good thing. I like that.
That's a good thing, yeah. Huge festivities are planned for the weekend. One event organized by Highland Legalization, a Thai cannabis advocacy group, will see 2 days of musical performances, panel discussions, and cannabis food sales.
Still, even with the liberalized law, a touch of paranoia will remain for some. Activists have long complained that loopholes in the law send conflicting messages. Just weeks ago, a 56-year-old woman was arrested at her home in eastern Chonburi province after plainclothes police officers spotted a potted cannabis plant in her bedroom. Wow. Yeah. One plant.
Her husband later clarified that she had high blood pressure and diabetes, and they had been cultivating the plant to add to their food. Commenting on the case, Otten says the 4 officers involved have been disciplined.
Oh, that's a good thing. They were given warnings and suspended. They did not obey the law we have just established, Otten said. However, we need to educate ordinary people and the law enforcement to let them know how far they can go in terms of using cannabis content. With the legal framework, that is what we have been trying to do, to give much information as we can to educate people. It sounds very confusing to me. The law doesn't know what they're doing. The health department doesn't know what they're doing. It's a mismatch.
It sounds like it like I know here, like in Canada, when we legalized, there was a date. And I know our government pushed, don't break, you're still breaking the law up to that date.
Yeah.
Maybe he just announced it, and people are still in that mindset of what the law was. Maybe they haven't heard the news, so on and so forth. And I can see there's some confusion. I think it's some part of the government's got to get out there and educate the public, and obviously their law enforcement on what the laws are now. Like why isn't this coming down the chain of command so the guy on the ground knows?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think they have to remove that 0.2% is ludicrous.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. It basically what it's doing is capping it. Some places cap cannabis or THC limits at 5% or 20%. We even discussed that right here in Canada, whether they were going to do that. So I look at what Thailand has done is they've gone and they've capped it at 0.2% when it comes to the THC.
Yeah, that's a really, really low number.
Yeah, as they want to use it for health and wellness. They look at, by the sounds of it, they look at anything with high THC is for recreational use only, not realizing the medical benefit that they can get from that THC.
But there is studies in existence now. I mean, it's not perfect, but there is studies that can show them that. The direct correlation. There's a direct correlation. The CBD and THC should be present in most medicines. They're using it for medicine.
Yeah, and it is in this, but it's very, very low. Obviously, let's look at it. It's a huge step where they've gone to where they are now, at releasing all those prisoners. Like, we talk about the U.S. and Canada, or like the U.S. how they expunge your criminal record, but I don't recall reading anything to do with releasing people out of jail because that law doesn't stand anymore.
Well, it's still Schedule 1, so nobody's going to fight that yet. If they remove it from Schedule 1, you're going to have thousands and thousands of prisoners fighting to get out.
Yeah, would be. I agree. It's good to see that Thailand let those people out of jail. So.
Yeah, and they're not executing people for possession anymore.
Exactly, and let's just get that THC level up there, and they're on their way, right? Yeah. All right, last story of the day, and this one comes to us from Muggleheads. Haven enters psilocybin mushroom supply agreement with Jamaica cannabis producer, according to Mugglehead magazine.
And Vancouver-based Haven Life Sciences Inc. Is set to start sending psilocybin cannabis producer to sell them in the country. On Tuesday, biotechnology announced it entered a supply agreement with Green Stripe Naturals Ltd. Through its subsidiary Green Peak Growers, which is a licensed cannabis producer in Jamaica. Green Stripe will distribute the psilocybin for sale at licensed dispensaries, given the country's legality around psychedelic mushrooms.
It's legal there. There's no law.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Green Stripe was one of the first cannabis companies in Jamaica and is currently looking into distributing its psilocybin and cannabis products in 14 local dispensaries and anticipates the number to grow to 35 by the end of the year. Green Stripe and Haven Life are also exploring future collaborations, including expanded distribution to other Caribbean islands where cannabis and psilocybin-containing mushrooms are illegal.
Haven Life's operations in Jamaica are facilitated by strategic partnerships with Haifa Wellness and P.A. Benjamin Manufacturing Company to provide cultivation and processing facilities for psilocybin-containing mushrooms, strengthening its relationship with local partners. We are very pleased to be partnering with Green Stripe Naturals, providing the highest quality, standardized, and naturally derived psilocybin-containing mushrooms in their dispensary to their dispensary customers across Jamaica. Haven Life CEO Tim Moore said.
Just think, hey, not only will you be able, now you can go there, they got stores and things down there, but now you can go and buy some mushrooms at the local store.
Last time I was there, it was still semi-legal. It was legal for medical users, but other than that, nobody else could.
Yeah, we've had one of the CEOs from one of the companies in Jamaica, Blaine Dowdle, on the broadcast, and he's with Itopia. They got stores and everything down there now. So
they had nothing like that when I was there.
Yeah, she's changed, man. She's changed.
It's gone far in a few years.
It sure has. Let's see here. Where were we? We are pleased to be partnering with Green Stripe Naturals, providing the highest quality standard of natural derived psilocybin-containing mushrooms. We see many operational similarities between our two organizations, and we look forward to collaborating and building a network of trusted plant-derived products to the Caribbean market and beyond.
Green Stripe CEO Wayne Isaacs says that partnering with Haven provides his company with a premium source of psilocybin. We are looking forward to working with their science and development teams to further enhance the product offering to serve both the retail and psilocybin retreat markets in Jamaica and the entire Caribbean region, he said. It is a great opportunity to create unique and special products based on market demand and backed up by top-tier science. And I just watched a program on psilocybin. I guess it's a retreat in Jamaica. It was a pretty cool place. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. We've had a guest on, Teresa and First Man. They had a mushroom experience, a cannabis experience retreat going on.
Maybe that's the people.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I know that Teresa has moved on from that. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
Teresa will be a guest on the Pace Radio Show next week.
Oh, okay, good timing.
Yeah. She's involved with the Hot Box, Cafe that was in Toronto.
Yeah.
Well, they had the Hot Box in Jamaica. Hot Box Jamaica.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now Teresa and partners are now operating the new updated version of the Hot Box
in Toronto or Jamaica?
Jamaica.
Oh, wow! I thought it was closed down there.
No, it's reopened.
Wow.
It's in a new location. The whole bit. I think there's something like 100 acres of land that they've got, and there's rivers that go through their land, and there's all kinds of things that they offer. It's like $100 a night or something. Find out more next week. Tune into the Pace Radio Show to learn more.
I will.
About the Hot Box in Jamaica. Yeah, it'll be good.
Well, that was good timing. Good lead-in for that story.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Anything up over the next week you want to share with anybody? Bike rides you're going on, or?
I'm riding every single day that the sun is out. I'm out. I wish I would have done it 20, 30 years ago. I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, feel free. The air blowing through.
Yeah.
And the beard is staying intact. I don't see any.
Yeah, I was doing the wraps around it, and now it just goes like this.
You're not doing it anymore? You're not wrapping it?
I was, and if I go on a long ride, for sure I will. But it's kind of a pain in the ass to wrap it all up and then go out for a minute and then come back and undo it all, right?
I can see that. That's right. Exactly. Okay, that's a Reefer report from the Legacy420.com news desk for June the 9th, 2022. And as we close the show, we'd like to say thank you to our sponsors, Legacy420.com, BMAHydroponics.com, DrBuckCTS.com, plus the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop in downtown Campbellford. Thanks for listening or watching. And don't forget to educate, medicate, and do not incarcerate. See y'all later.
Oh, yeah, baby. That's lovely.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.